Hello guys, this is Roy6951 and welcome to my channel. And today is Monday. Mondays, the joy of doing nothing day. Oh yeah. Hey, it's my day off. So, before I start, I guess that we all gonna jump into my limited time machine. So we're going back to 1990 something. 1998. So this is I believe this is a 12-part miniseries of JLA Year 1. So I want to show you the cover of issue number 1 here. Check that out. Awesome, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. Excuse me. It's Monday. I'm tired. So, but not only that I'm tired, that yesterday I got to read 2 stories of. Actually, this is my first video of my pet project. You know, the one I made, I think it was Friday or Saturday, that I did a video about small pet project I'm gonna do with all my Superman 90s collection. That I'm gonna read all the. I'm gonna review, give you my thoughts of one of the best stories there. But the thing is that for me to do that, is that if you haven't seen my previous video, go and watch it. I got the table full of comic books, full stack. There are about close to 300, I believe so. And I said that I was going to choose the best story arc or crossover between all the Superman or some other titles. But for me to do that, I had to read all of them. So I'm not going to have time for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose, I'm going to be reading crossovers or story arcs or miniseries that I have about Superman. And then I'm going to review. Because for me to choose the best of them from my whole stack of comics, it's no way for me. I would say it's a bit impossible for me though. So what I'm going to do is that every single miniseries or crossover or story arc that I would read, then I will make a video about it. So yesterday I read 2 of them. The first one is Superman Man of Steel number 16 is Crisis at Hand. Here's part 1. Check that out. And Superman number 72, Crisis at Hand, part 2 of 2 story arc. Well, the thing is about this story arc is that according to the timeline, back in 1997, well, Superman 7 years before he met Lois Lane, I believe so. According to the story, one of his, you know that Superman has that super hearing. So he heard a woman screaming. He went where the woman was screaming. It happens to be that the woman was getting beat up by her husband. And Superman took the guy, threatened the guy, and kind of like throw him off the window. I'm not kidding. So just before that the guy touched the ground, Superman saved him, kind of like giving a big scare, and told the guy, look, you ever touch your wife again, I will do the same thing. And I am not going to waste my time. I'm going to let you go. Simple as that. Well, the guy starts crying, yes, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then when he goes to the apartment with the guy, her, his wife, the guy's wife, called the cops and accused Superman of, invasion of privacy and all that crap. So actually the woman called the cops on him. So Superman felt frustrated, as we can see here on the cover. Because we all know that Superman, he's a Boy Scout. He goes by the rules of the law. So, it kind of like really got to him. Later on, the same thing happened. He was called, he got the news that some woman got murdered. So he went to take the story. So, to cover the story actually. So once he goes to the apartment, he realized that the dead woman happens to be the woman that he saved a couple of days before. And she was dead. She was shot by her husband. Her husband escaped, was never to be found. So Superman spent 4 days scouting the whole city. He didn't sleep, eat, shave, nothing. He didn't even bother to go to work. So finally he finds a guy at the cemetery the day that his wife, that woman, was going to be buried. So he finds her husband hiding behind the bushes. So finally, when Superman sees him, he go and takes him and start arguing with him. You worthless piece of garbage. I should have told you before and all that. But the guy tells Superman, look, she's dead because of you, not because of me. So actually the guy who killed his wife, he was blaming Superman for his wife's death. I know, it's kind of like ironic. And Superman says, how can you blame me for something that you did? And the guy says, because you never killed me. If you hadn't killed me back then, she would be alive by now. But you didn't kill me. You let me go. So he killed her. So he was going to kill the guy. Superman was about to beat the hell out of that guy. So at the cemetery, there was the two families. The families of the guy and the family of the woman. And Superman was going about to beat the hell out of that guy. So the woman's family told Superman, kill him. And the man's family says, don't kill him because he's my son. So Superman was between one of the two. It was very close that Superman actually, I don't know how Superman, he lost his cool in it, but he did. So the guy went to jail. Now, we're going now 7 years on to the future, which happened to be to the present, which is 1997. So this story here, because you have two stories in one, is that on that story, Superman apartment, he has a neighbor, next door neighbor, which happens that her husband is beating up his wife. It's like the same story. His story repeats itself. So, let me put this here. Okay. So, the same thing it does. He goes to the woman's apartment, he threatened the guy, and the woman called the cops on him. Again, same thing happens all over again. So by the time in 1997, on the story, Superman, he was already dating Lois Lane, and Lois Lane knew his dual identity. She knew that she was Superman. So, and Lois Lane, one of those trips that she goes to Clark's apartment, she hears that noise. And Clark explained her what happened to him 7 years before. And she said, well, that was 7 years ago, that was back then, this is now, you should go and help the woman. I said, I did. I went over there, I tried to help the woman, I threatened the guy, and she called the cops on me. So I'm not going to do anything because there's nothing I can do. nothing, unless that she does the first step, which that sucks. I mean, that part of the law I'm not agree with. That, I mean, if the woman doesn't accuse her husband can keep on doing what he's doing. I don't think that's fair. I mean, if somebody see a guy beating up a woman, that guy usually just automatic, he should be in trouble. Maybe not in jail, but, you know, doesn't have to wait to her wife call the cops on him. So, back to the story. So, so you can see that Superman frustration on the present with his neighbor. And the guy, he's just real asshole. I mean, his neighbor, he's an asshole. So, till finally, the guy, when finally Clark Kent went back to his apartment a couple of days later with Lois Lane, things got real bad. To the point where the woman that Clark Kent go to his apartment, knock the door, and the guy says, "Get out of here, or I'm going to call the cops. There's nothing you can do about it, blah, blah, blah." And the woman tells Clark Kent, or at least Lois Lane, call the cops. And then at that one moment, Clark Kent goes out, changes his clothes, flies in through the window as Superman. And the woman tells Superman, take him away. And Superman tells her, so you're going to accuse him to the police? And she says yes. And she actually called the police on her husband. So Superman took the guy away. The woman tells him, get out of here, I don't want to see you anymore, I want you to move out. So Superman let the guy go because he was not going to lose his cool like 7 years before. I mean, it's a very good story. It's a two-part story, but it's real good, real good. So finally, once the Superman let the guy go, he finds the guy on the bridge, and he thought that he was going to kill himself. So then Superman goes and saves him, kind of like talk him out of it. Which, if I were Superman, I would say, I mean, if it were Batman on the same situation, Batman, he won't let the guy jump off the bridge. Actually, Batman will help the guy. Batman will push the guy off the bridge, if that was the Batman's situation. But Superman, well, you know. So, and the guy, he realized that he needs help. That what he's doing, he was wrong, but for some reason, he cannot stop himself of beating his wife. For some reason. Basically, it's more psychology than anything else. So, Superman and the guy asks Superman for help. And Superman says, look, you just said the best thing that I ever heard in many years. So the story ends that Superman took the guy because he asked for help. And Superman took him to the place where he's supposed to go to get help. Maybe one of those head doctors that shrink and all that. But it was these two comic books, it has a very powerful story. Superman is written by Dan Jurgens, and Man of Steel is written by Louis Simonson. It's a very strong storyline. Very strong storyline. Very adult. Not in the sense as today's adult, that, you know what I mean. But it's a very powerful story. Very powerful story. Just to be a two-part. Was just very powerful story. So this is my first video of my Superman pet project, which I think I'm going to have a lot of videos. But It's been fun. You know, I want to say thank you to Holder Mouse that he did his video. Because believe it or not, I forgot about how great stories that I have on Superman books. That I forgot about. Because when the universe changed, because right now I'm more into the new stuff, the new 52. So, but thanks to Holder Mouse video, so I'm going back to enjoy the old stories of Superman because they were really good. And I started searching, and I found, I don't know if I show it on some videos, but I got a bunch of those. Boom! I got this miniseries, which is written by John Byrne, The Man of Steel. Here's part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I just realized that my time machine, it goes back to 1980, as far as 1986. I did bought it back in the 86. I bought it in the 90s. I bought it in the back issue part of the store. But I got comic books that goes far back to 1986, I believe so, or 1987. So no more 90s. So I got this one, which I already read it. A couple of months back, I read this miniseries, which I'm gonna make a video about this one because it's really good. And I found out the Superman present the Krypton Chronicles. This is a 3-part miniseries. And the World of Krypton, 4-part miniseries. And the World of Metropolis, 4-part miniseries. And the World of Smallville, 4-part miniseries, but for some reason, I don't know why, I only got issue number 1 and issue number 2. I never got issue number 3 and number 4. I don't know if I didn't want it, or I forgot, or what. But, this is some of the books that I found on my collection back there. So right now, I'm almost done with the Blackout storyline. Crossover in all the Superman books. Blackout, I think it's a 6-part. I believe it's a 4-part or 6-part. I believe so. Well, guys, this is it. I hope that you enjoyed my first video of my pet project. And I wish everybody that will have an excellent week. And I hope that everyone had an excellent weekend. So, well, guys, this is it. Till later.